He's not a bad player. Anyways, when it comes to map control, really, what you want to do is you just want to control. This is going to sound weird, but you want to control the merc camps and the two upper and lower gold mines. The one with the green camps in front of them, top right and bottom left. That's what I was going for. You kind of want to control those, and you just want to make sure that you have, control over that little strip that goes across the middle. And what I mean by that is you just want to be able to make sure that you can creep these safely without him being like, oh, I'm going to creep check you, and it's going to be bad for you. And what you want to do is you just want to, this is going to sound weird, but you want to mentally intimidate your opponent into thinking that it's a bad time to even creep jack you. And that's what map control really is controlling not only all the creep camps and all the EXP, but also controlling key locations. Like, if you can, control his goblin merchant. Like, if you can snag a whole bunch of items from there, then you're way better off than he is. Why? Because you have control over the shop that's closest to him, and obviously if he doesn't have control over the one that's closest to you, you've pretty much won the game. And that may sound weird and very difficult to do, but it is actually not as hard as it sounds. Yeah. Anyways, also in terms of map control, you can do a couple things like damaging his economy to actually gain kind of map control, because he has to kind of sit there and wait so that it doesn't get damaged even more, and he has to sit there until he has adequate protection for his stuff. Now you'll notice I'm doing split wolf creep, and it's just a little quicker to do. Plus they're green creeps, so they don't really do much damage. And you can actually creep those 3 apprentice wizards, I think they are, with just 2 wolves. You can actually do it with just 2 militia as well. And I'm actually running my hero back to the shop, I believe. Oh no, I'm picking up the item. And then I'm going to creep out the goblin merchant. This is just the quickest way I've found to do it with the Farseer. With the Blade Master it's a little different, but I figured I'd just do this because it's easy. I mean, I pretty much start creeping this before my 3rd grunt gets out, so that's how I roll. I will take up a little bit of damage with this, but I figure if I haven't seen him by now, he's probably not going to push me. You will notice his creep order sucks, by the way. Yeah, anyways, what he's going to be doing is actually Rifle Caster, and at this point I figured, he may be expoing and I should scout it, but I just kind of figured he's doing the standard creep to level 3 and then he's going to tower push me out of nowhere. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. My 2 grunts are a little weak, but I figure I can stall enough time for those. Anyways, I set up War Mill just because I kind of expect a tower push. That's just kind of what I do. I don't like being tower pushed. I mean, I can fend it off, and it's not really that much of a pain, but I can still do it. So he comes in, and he's going to burrow snipe me. Unfortunately for him, I'm kind of there already, but yeah, he still gets a burrow off. And at this point, I figure since he's pushing me at level 2, he's probably fast expoed. So I was going to go scout for that afterwards. My peons are a little in the way, and he's going to try and pick one of those off. I do get that footy kill. Split second decision. Okay, so at this point, my game plan's changed a little. I figured he was going to tower push me. I didn't think it was going to be that early, but I figured it was going to happen. I don't know what I'm doing with that 1 peon. I put it back on gold. That's stupid. Anyways, oh, yes, building burrows. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, at this point I figured he's just expoed. What am I doing? Oh, I'm selling stuff. So, sorry, I was just confused at what I was doing, so that's what, yeah. So at this point I figured he's fast expoed. So you'll notice I haven't put up my Spirit Lodge yet, and I was just going to make sure that he hasn't put up an expo by now. Just because, oh, no, I do put up a Spirit Lodge. Oh, right, this is the game that I figured I would just play patiently if he has an expo, because he probably has towers. And then I was just going to push my advantage and try and gain control of his shop, and then kind of dominate from there and just kind of control him in his little area. And then I was just going to like creep the merc camp and go back and push him and make sure that he doesn't do anything. I got a nice footy kill. That was good. And then at this point I realize he's teched. I'm like, uh-oh. This puts a little problem in what I was going to do, which I was actually going to try and damage his economy as much as possible, and hopefully he didn't have towers. So at this point he militias, and I'm like, okay, this is bad for me, because he actually has, well, he's level 3, plus he doesn't have an expo, and he has a couple rifles, and you may be thinking, oh, rifles, those are kind of stupid, easy to beat. They are, but you can't really do it with just pure grunts, because he's actually just going to out-focus fire you, and it's just going to be not very good. It's like trying to fight mass fiends with a bunch of grunts. It doesn't really work very well, and it only works early game. So, yeah, I run. My Tauren Chieftain comes out, and I pick up a mana potion. This is how I play differently. You'll notice I do have the one tower. That was just because I figured he was going to push me again with towers after he TP'd out, because he got the burrow kill and he has a little bit of an advantage with that. But yeah, here's how my playstyle is a little different. Yeah, focus the Arcane Vault when his whole army's right there. That's silly. I lose a grunt. I deserve to lose that grunt. This is bad play of me. Yeah, anyways, this is how I play differently versus human. A lot of people will actually go 50 food, push them with healing scrolls and whatever else they have. I actually go 50 food, healing scrolls, and mana pots on both heroes. I pretty much don't go into low upkeep versus human until I get an expo up. You may think that's silly, but the way that I do it, it actually works fairly well. And you'll notice you can actually use your level 2 wolves to creep that very easily. I believe you can actually use that on the murlocs as well. But I just do a whole bunch of pushes, and at 50 food I just kind of stick there and push with mana pots. And you may think that's a little silly, but especially against rifles it works really well. Against breakers it's not as good, but it still makes sure that he doesn't have casters. And then you can basically outdamage output him with your grunts and raiders and your heroes. So that's basically how I play. If he is going breakers, I get a couple more grunts. If he's going rifles, I get a couple more raiders. That's just how I work. And it's for a reason of taking less damage and having a little more damage output. So, if you turn Fog of War off, you'll notice he's at the bottom of my base. And I was actually going to heal to get a couple clarities, but since he was already going there, it was kind of an ideal thing to do. So I Spirit Link right away. Obviously smart play, especially against rifles. And at this point, I kind of have map control. As you can see, he's running, and he might waste another TP. And this basically guarantees that I have map control. Reason being, this is his second TP wasted, so that's 350 gold that he spent, and possibly another 350 if he's getting another TP. And at this point, I have free reign of the entire map. I can actually creep his gold mine if I wanted to, and he really wouldn't be able to do much about it just because I've gained that much more of an advantage with my money. I really need a clarity pot on my Farseer. There we go. Just checking on that one. I have 2 mana pots on my Tauren Chieftain, but that's just because I haven't bought one for my Farseer yet. I will creep out the gold mine. I am going to creep with my Farseer, I believe. Just because... Oh, no. I'm not. I figure once my Tauren Chieftain hits level 3, I can hit level 4 easily with my Farseer when I push. That's what was going on in my mind. Generally, I change my game plan if he fast expos, and the reason being is because it becomes a little different in terms of timing. And you don't want to time it like mid-game 50 food push. You kind of want to time it so that you can take out a couple of his peons before he decides, okay, I need more towers. And so basically you want to push him as early as possible, damage his economy. And that's just the basics against any fast expo. I'm creeping that camp out because I'm almost level 2 or level 3. I'm not creeping it for item purposes. Thought you should know. So at this point,